Welcome to Module 8. Let's chat stats. This is our last module in the Driver Content and Partnership Academy, guys. Well done. Very impressive. I have some more news for you at the end of the module, but let's get into some stats. My favorite thing in the world to talk about. So our post-round updates that make sponsors renew, right? Final module. Here we go. So this is the bit that separates one-off sponsors vibes to a long-term partnership energy, right? Because most drivers do the hard part. They have a sponsor, but then they fumble the easiest part, okay? They don't properly follow up after the round. They don't show the value. They don't make the sponsor feel looked after, love, all of the things, okay? And if you don't do this, sponsors just don't renew, simple. And if they do renew, they're not going to be super engaged, and it's not going to be a fun partnership to continue. Okay. So I'm giving you the post-round update system that makes businesses go, yep, that worked. Let's keep going. And this is literally what I do. Okay. I'm giving you step-by-step exactly what I do. The 48-hour rule, your new standard. I've said this 100 times across this academy. However, very, 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 very important. Okay. 48-hour rule. Every sponsor gets an update within 48 hours of the round finishing. Not 2 weeks later when you remember, not quote unquote when you have time, because we never have time, right? We're busy people. Within 48 hours. Why? Because excitement fades, right? Memory fades, and the sponsors go back to running their business like you never existed. But if you update them quickly, you ride the hype and you look professional. Okay. What sponsors actually want to know, and it's not only your results, right? They're not actually buying your results on track. They want to know, what did we get? The deliverables. Who saw it? The reach and the views. What did people do? Comments, shares, clicks. Where's the proof? Links, screenshots, photos, and what's next round plan, and how can we get more value, activation / upgrade. Okay, very, very simple. So your update needs to hit those points very clearly. So the 2 versions of your update, okay, 2 levels here. Version A, a quick email update, and that is perfect for smaller businesses, local businesses, or contra partners. Maybe it was a smaller investment and they wanted to, have a small sticker on the car and a bit of social content. Okay, they are fine for a quicker overview. However, version B, you want to make it a minimum 1-pager, like a PDF summary. Okay, so this is perfect for bigger partners or anyone spending proper cash. I'd be doing this for anybody that spends more than $1,000 with you. Okay, same content, just different packaging. All right, so let's talk about version A, the perfect post around email structure. Here is your new forever template. All right. And again, this will all be in your notes for you to have a squeeze at the end of this in your workbooks. But here's the structure, right? Thank you and a quick headline. That's number 1. Second thing you want to do is race weekend highlights. Make it really short. This is what we got. This is what we did. Whatever. Deliverables that you delivered for them. Okay. What you posted, your performance metrics, and just you can even, to be honest, for these small ones, you can just screenshot it. And again, that really proves honesty as well, because anyone can fudge a bunch of numbers. Performance metrics. Well, yep, I've just gone through that. The assets for them. So the photos and the links, and then the next round plan. So where you're racing next, do they want to jump on board? Do they have any questions? Before you go into the ask, which is your renew, upgrade, or your VIP packages, right? So very, very simple. Here's an email example copy. So subject line options, you've got Sydney round wrap up and content links, post round update, results and deliverables, partner update, quick recap and stats. Okay. And so you'll play around with subject lines and you'll see what works. And then a quick email example is such and such. Just a quick note to say thank you again for partnering with us for the whatever round. We had a strong weekend and I wanted to send through your post round wrap with the content links and key stats. Okay. So weekend highlights, you want to do your results where you finish. I would probably do all of them because why not? So you may as well do practice, quali, and then race results, and then probably overall key moments. Did you have a massive, big hard charger through the pack and gain 10 spots in one of the races, or key moments like that. And then a key moment, because I know you guys get really down if you shit, something happens to the car and you're stuck in the pit lane or goes to shit, but that's actually on our part quite good, because you normally get more TV time because the presenters and commentators are trying to work out what the hell's going on. So you get a lot more TV time if you like. I think that's where the winner or bin saying comes from. And then you want to let them know what your biggest win was. So was it learning, improved, momentum, whatever. And again, use the narrative and that we're always trying to better, always trying to improve, and thank you so much for being part of our journey, that kind of vibe. And then the content delivered, so in links. So you'll need the real links, and you can literally just copy and paste them straight from your Instagram stories, your Instagram feed. And then you can do your partner stories as well. So, I mean, you would have tagged them all if part of their deliverables was to be like part of the story feature, and then any posts you've done, and then any bonus stuff as well. Just be like, hey, by the way, we did this and whatever. And then you want to do a bit of a performance snapshot. So total views, reach, saves and shares, top comment, or audience moment. So if it was, something in particular that was, really juicy or a really epic comment, like you can also highlight that and be like, or like the dream here is like people are like, I love that brand too. Or like, oh, I love that, right? That's also great, because then you're like, oh, look, I'm building a new community. So, and then the assets that you've got as well. So then the next round follow up, it'd be like, we'll be racing at, whatever round and whatever date that is. And the content plan includes, and then, give them a little bit of a pointer as to like what that will look like. Race week, behind the scenes, sponsor spotlight, giveaway, VIP, that kind of stuff. Then basically you want to either invite more of a conversation, or basically you're trying to stay away from like a yes, no response. So, you can say something like, we'd love to have you on the car again this round and deliver even more value, and kind of leave it open-ended there. So it's more of a conversational piece instead of like, let me know if you'd like to continue, because that's just not it. Okay. Thank you so much. Sign it off. Short, professional, measurable, and easy to say yes to. So what metrics to include? We want to keep it simple, not to overwhelm people, especially if people aren't numbers people, they're visual people. All they want to see is like the cool content. You don't need a million numbers, right? You just need your views, like overall, and like maybe include your best post as well, the reach, saves and shares, profile visits, website clicks if relevant, if you're tracking that sort of stuff with things like UTM strings, partner mentions in terms of count, and then any additional media mentions if applicable. So what I would do here as well is like to humanize you and be like, I'm obsessed with the community we're building. Say something like, we have multiple DMs asking about you or your product, and fans commented like in whatever they did. So businesses love proof that people actually noticed. So that's why it would be epic if somebody were to comment, oh my God, I love that product too, or like whatever. Include all that juicy stuff in there as well, because they will love it. Okay, so that's your sort of short, sharp, shiny summary for your smaller kind of partners. Now, your second one, again, minimum one pager, and you want to make it pretty in like a beautiful PDF. Okay. So what it needs to include: the partner name in the round, 2 to 3 weekend highlights, content delivered with links to make it easier, your best performing metrics, even if you put like in a little tiny table, screenshots as well, again, optional, but like they're really powerful. A photo strip, kind of break it up the words with some pretty images, your next round plan, and then a renewal or sort of upgrade call to action. Okay. It can be 1 to 2 pages, clean, no essays, just do bullet points. And then when you go onto the renewal ask, and this is kind of like the best way to say it without being like super awkward, because the ask is basically everything, and it actually should be normal. Like it shouldn't be like you're better off to go in there assuming that obviously they're gonna, renew because we've delivered so much value. Like obviously that's what they're going to do, as opposed to being like, shit, I hope they do, otherwise I'm stuck for budget next. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of vibe and energy you sort of want to go into with these. So you can use a few different ones for this. And exactly like I said before, don't let it be a yes or no answer. Say things like, can't wait to see what we achieve together in the next race round. We can discuss the deliverables based off of what worked really well. Like, again, that really assumptive kind of narrative. And then even, again, subtly sort of approaching this with, if you want to make changes on the package to focus more on what worked really well, i.e. social posts, for example, we can also discuss that. So throwing out a bunch of options instead of being like, yeah, sick, like, do you want to keep going? Okay. And then you can also ask things like, do you want to bring anybody, like any partners or clients or customers or whatever, trackside next round, we can absolutely do that. And then you want them to obviously lock in for as long as possible. So, maybe even checking if they've got any sort of big things coming up in the next couple of months that we can tap into in terms of the narrative and what we want in terms of content for them, or how we can support their business goals long term, because then you already begin, an accountant one is easy, right? Like, just use the end of financial year, like, 2 weekends, race meets time, it'll be end of financial year. Did you want to push this? Really do the thinking for them. So all I have to do is say, absolutely. Okay. This is not a pushy approach. This is actually quite a professional approach. So the partner touch during the round, so updates are easier. Okay. I've got a little tip for you. Do not wait till after the weekend to communicate. For the love of all things holy, do not ghost these people during race rounds. Okay. Send a quick photo. Send that, I did just make sure we saw, you saw that we tagged you in this. Send a big moment today message, keep them engaged. And like I said before, if there is a way that you can get somebody, when you're on Dummy Grid, to take a photo and send it to them so they can see you live in situ, they can, see where their logo is, and they can, all of these things, it makes them feel super exclusive and super VIP. So it's really important that you communicate with them continually over the race weekend. And if you can't, somebody in your team absolutely has to. It's a non-negotiable these days. Okay. So when that happens and you build this relationship and you've been chatting basically throughout the weekend anyway, the post-round update just feels like a continuation of that discussion. And you can even prep them and say how excited you are to share all of the stats and all the information with them. In that way, it's this is great. And even if it's not 100% what you wanted, they're already going to be in the mindset of this is great, because that's how you framed it. And they're already going to be excited because you've involved them in your entire weekend. Okay. So be a human. Don't just be yeah, thanks, see ya. Okay. Really important. All right. So your homework, or the system that I'm giving you, create your post-round email template. Now, do it as soon as you can, but leading before the race weekend. Don't do this, the template, after the race weekend, because we all know how exhausted we are. You're not going to feel like doing it. And if you can do as much work for it now as you possibly can, then your future self will thank you very much for it. Okay. Create your post-run email template, and then create your 1 to 2 pager PDF template as well. And then commit to the 48-hour rule. Okay. Every time, even if you have to chuck it in your calendar, right? Do that. Very, very important. And then you can also set reminders in ahead of time so you don't forget. And then you're basically just going to decide what metrics you'll track every weekend. And to be honest, again, you need to be treating this platform like a business. Okay. This is your personal brand. This is your offering to people. This is, the value that you're bringing to partners, right? We have no choice but to do this. Okay. This is absolutely not optional. Okay, guys, that's it. Module 8. That's the academy done. If you implement this, okay, you are going to stop chasing sponsors every round from scratch, and you're going to start building a partnership engine. Your followers are going to grow. Your social platforms are going to go nuts. You're going to go viral. You're going to be on the radar of all of the top media in your state and nationally. Okay. This is tried and tested. I do all of these myself. I've bought in over $200,000 of sponsorship money last year. The business and my drivers' platforms are growing dramatically. I've monetized most of my clients' Instagram accounts and Facebook accounts. Some of them have also monetized YouTube. We're landing brand deals where they get paid $1,000 per video they create. Okay. I have tried and tested these systems to make sure that this is literally the be all and end all, and all of the mistakes I've made, right? You don't have to make them. I'm giving you all of the good stuff. So if you need any support, again, you know where to find me. Just reach out to me. I'm always more than happy to help. And if you want some continual accountability and, continuous yep, here's what you should be posting, you are more than welcome. And I would love, love, love to see you in the Content Pick Crew. It is a free group where I pop in what's trending, different content ideas, and it's a broadcast group. So basically, you can get all the good stuff and you can keep being reminded. However, if you wanted a little bit more of a hands-on approach and you want to be able to converse and ask me questions and catch up with me every month, I would love to invite you to the Paid to Race Club. So it is a monthly membership where we catch up once a month, and it is open floor. You are welcome to ask me any questions. The chat is also available 24/7. If you have any questions, I will respond and get back to you. There are absolute legends in that group who very likely have answers as well. Fellow drivers that can give you a bit of support outside of my media, I suppose, my media advice. And then there's also the VIP bonus to that, where you get a one-on-one call with me every month as well. So we run through what your strategy is, what you're doing, how we can improve it, what your content's doing, what are your partners saying, what does that all look like? And it is the most value-packed way to get one-on-one access with me. So there are your options if you want to continue learning from me. I built this academy out with the intention that it has everything you could possibly need to execute it yourself. But again, I'm also here if you want any support and just a little bit of an additional kick up the ass every now and then, because we always need it. So thank you for being here. I'm excited to hear how you go, and hopefully I'll see you inside one of my memberships. Bye.